guys, so I'm still in LA, and for the first time, I'm going to talk about something that is more in tune to what I do, and not so much about robots and technology, because I came here for something related to technology. So when I was going to Atlanta, I put out on Twitter that I'm going to Atlanta, so I would like to interview, what's his name, Tyler Perry. And then somebody sends me a message on Twitter and says, look out for Esi Yamoah. He's working with Tyler Perry, and so I looked out for her, and then voila, here she is. So what's the relationship with you and Tyler for that person to suggest you?
Okay, so after Ghana, so I was working in Ghana for 2 years, lived there for 3. So after I came back, I was like, okay, Chale, I need to find a job, but in the film industry. So everyone was saying Atlanta is like the next thing coming up. So I went out there, I was hustling, talking to different people, and by God's grace, my first job in the United States was working at Tyler Perry Studios.
Okay.
And I worked as a PA and had the opportunity to meet him in person on set, and he's a great person, very strong in what he wants, and the community there is like a family, you know? So it was actually a really great beginning for my career in America.
How long ago was this?
This was, I think like 2 years ago. I came back it was like 2017, 2 years ago. That was my first job. I'm so happy for him. I'm so happy. The place is humongous.
Amazing. Yeah, I went there thinking I could have a tour like Disney and the rest of them, and we were told no, it's the working studio, so you can only take pictures from the front. Great. So you said you started from some point in Ghana, so I would like to know
Okay.
at what point, how did acting and producing start for you?
So I've been acting since I was small. You know, everyone's like sometimes introduced by school plays. And so ever since then, I was like, I love acting. I didn't really get into producing until probably when I was younger. I picked up my father's camera and I was like, I want to shoot something. And honestly, that was it. I was shooting everywhere, shooting everybody. My sister's friends were always my actors. And she used to say, stop using my friends, they're not your actors. It was that bad. But that moment, I really realized I loved filmmaking, and I loved producing and writing the script, editing it. And you know, at that time, you didn't really have much. But at the end of every short that I made, I would hook up the camera to the TV, and all of us would sit back and watch. And but at that time, I didn't think that would be a career.
This was back in Ghana?
This was back in, wait, did you say Ghana or how it started?
How it started.
No, so this is back in America.
Okay, cool.
But then high school, I was working in the Thespian Society, doing acting, and then college, I started learning more about the producing. But I was doing journalism at the time, so it wasn't necessarily the same thing. But, you know, outside of school, I had the opportunity to play around and gather people who want to do film, and then I think it was just little by little. And then when I got older, I was like, oh, I can actually do this as a career. And then I had the opportunity to work on a short film called Black Rose that was written by Pascal Aka and directed by Pascal Aka. And that was my first time really realizing that, okay, I love producing, you know, and that's when it kind of went up from the professional level, you know, so yeah.
And in terms of acting, what would you say was your first, like, proper gig?
Okay, well, I mean, let's say after school, right? Because everything before, you know, you graduate, kind of like collegiate or whatever the case may be. Honestly, I was doing off and on. So it's not until I came to Ghana that I really, like, started acting again. So I was in some shorts, and then after that, I did a stage play called Raisin in the Sun. And that was done at National Theater. And it was beautiful because I haven't been on the stage in like 8 years, you know? So I say like that and the short films I did in Ghana kind of relit everything about my acting career and my film career.
Which year was it? I mean, what brought you back to Ghana? Because I'm assuming you grew up.
Okay, so I wanted to learn more about my culture for myself. And, you know, every time I went, it was with my family, but it wasn't like me going on my own to search and discover who I am. And so I got all my graduation money, and I bought a one-way ticket to Ghana. And I didn't know what was going to happen. But I'm one of those people that if I believe it, I do it. And that was what got me to Ghana.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. And so when you got there, obviously it wasn't your intention to start acting or go into production. How did it happen?
So,
you met Pascal and Co. How did it all happen?
So one of the reasons why I also moved to Ghana is because I wanted to go to the FIFA World Cup in Brazil.
Oh, but cool.
Yeah. And how did I say this? So long story short, I went to Brazil. I studied Portuguese in college. I studied in Brazil and for like 5 months for a study abroad program. And I was able to pick up enough Portuguese that I was actually one of the interpreters for a group of Ghanaians going to the World Cup.
Okay.
So,
I was there as well.
You were there, yes. so that was one of the things. But after that, it was like, so what next? And I was like, film and television. And something told me I need to stay in Ghana. You know, I feel like I moved to Ghana when it wasn't cool. You know, and a lot of people were like confused, like, what are you doing here? They say, Ghana here is hot. What are you doing here? But I knew I was doing it for me. So if it's for me, you can't expect everyone to always understand. You know, and that's when I started working with Pascal and started working at the company and just building my way up. You know, and sometimes it's difficult being, you know, a child immigrant and coming back to Ghana. Because people look at you very differently.
I mean, it has its pluses and minuses.
It does. It does. But, Kelly, how we go doing?
Great. So I see you are part of the production, which is coming out soon from Busca, Gold Coast Lounge. What was your role in that? Tell us a bit about that production. Okay,
so what I can tell you is that, so I worked as a producer. So the short film I was telling you about, Black Rose, was basically like a short film, a proof of concept for Gold Coast Lounge. Okay. So when I heard that it was going to be turning into a feature, I thought it was like the next, it's like leveling up in a sense of like, okay, well, I worked on this short film, so I understand what the bigger picture looks like. And so I started producing, calling Pascal back and forth. You can imagine the time difference. And we got out there and we shot. Gold Coast Lounge is just something fresh, you know? And it's Afro noir. So we're literally blending, you know, the aesthetics from the American film noir and blending it with the Ghanaian culture and creating something new, you know? So Gold Coast Lounge, make sure you go check it out. Yeah.
Right. So you talk about something fresh. What's your opinion? First of all, being here and then also going back. What do you think about the movie industry in general?
The Ghanaian film industry is still growing. You know, one of the struggles is, I feel like for everybody, is capital. Finding money to be able to produce your ideas properly. You know, there's only but so much you can do with resources and a shortage of money compared to coming out here to LA. You know, LA was built off of the film industry. So I would say one thing I love about our film industry is that we have beautiful stories to tell, and we have very dedicated and hardworking people who are ready to tell those stories. But we also, one of the things, we need funding to do it properly, you know. But over here, it's also great because there's a lot of opportunity. It's been established for a very long time. And so there are certain things that flow easier. There's structure where if you shoot a film and you do these steps, there's at least distribution set. So at least when you know going into the film, there's a possibility you can make some money or all money back, you know. So, yeah.
So with your interest in acting and producing, what has being in a place like Los Angeles mean for you?
Los Angeles, I feel like, is a place that I can sharpen myself. And I've gathered so much from Ghana, right? And now LA is another beautiful blend that I can put together. So out here, there's more connections. Out here, there's more opportunities to raise money, to meet people with resources. So LA, for me, is just another stage in my life. Literally everything I've done has worked my way up to this moment. So I mean, small.
Great. And I also see one project you're working on, Goals and Shit.
Goals and Shit.
Yeah. Tell us about that as well.
Yeah, so Goals and Shit was created by my best friend Alexandria Collins, and it's a digital series. It's an absurd comedy about a woman who had it all and lost it all, and she's trying to rebuild herself back up with the validation of herself and not society. And I am playing her supporting actress, and my name is Carrie Wusu. I the Ghana inside. And so my character, she's a nurse, and she's struggling with student debt and also trying to figure out how to take care of everybody, but she always neglects herself, But for me, it was important to add Ghanaian culture into it. Like, what does it look like to have an African American and a first generation people living together? And it's just another opportunity for me to spread the Ghanaian culture, because at least that's what I can do living in Ghana for 3 years. How can I blend this in and more people know about us so we can bring funding and opportunities back to the industry?
Talking about funding, I realized that you did a little bit crowdfunding for this project.
We did.
How did it go?
It went well. So we got the $20,000 for the series, so we're super excited about that. It was a lot of work. It's one thing to ask people for money, but then it's another thing to reach a certain goal of $20,000. It was both our first time ever setting that goal. And
it's good for the project is called Goals and Shit.
Goals and Shit. Goals and Shit. You have goals, and then there was the shit. But it all goes together, right?
Absolutely.
But it was difficult. I was even raising funds in Ghana as I was shooting Gold Coast Lounge at the same time. And I even had some funding from Ghanaians to support the project. So that's one thing I also want to say, Ghanaians also support it, and that's really important to me.
Great. So is that one currently done and running?
No, so we're now shooting it. We just shot something not too long ago, so we're going to cut that up, and then we're going to start working on sketches and building the brand, and but we're really excited. We can't say too much.
We know these acting production people, we can't put too much out there. So
exactly.
Yeah. So what other projects are you working on?
Well, right now, Goals and Shit, Gold Coast Lounge. I'm working on another project I cannot say. You see what I'm saying? But what I can say is that this project is, I believe, bringing more opportunities back to Africa. That's one of my goals, is to always make sure that what I do, I take Ghana with me on my back, or Africa on my back. And if I can find projects that will keep bringing capital and funding, then one day we'll get a chance that we can start moving on our own. So that's one of the projects I'm doing. And then I'm doing one of my personal ones, but I can't talk too much.
All right, so Esi, as somebody who's living in the US and you come back, what do you think about this year being the year of return?
I'm excited.
Great.
I'm excited. I'm actually going back to Ghana in December.
Oh, good.
So this is going to be one of Ghana's biggest reunions. So many people from the diaspora are going to be in Accra. All that positive energy, everyone looking for family and connecting, and honestly, I missed both of my reunions, my high school reunion and my college reunion, and it broke my heart to say, but I said, you know what, but I'm going to go to one of the biggest reunions maybe Africa or Ghana has ever seen, and that makes up for everything. Great.
And do you see the opportunity to sort of put some new project together around this thing? Because as somebody who likes to tell stories, I think it offers such opportunities. Do you see yourself maybe doing something around it as well?
Well, right now, I just think I'm excited for the relationships, because before anything happens, you have to build relationships with people. I'm just excited to see the people, meet them, and see what people are already doing, how we can collaborate. That's the best thing I can say about that. But actually doing business, unless somebody's dropping money,
some heavy cash.
Then I'm like, hey boss, please, let's talk. Let's go to Coco Memele and let's talk. Yeah.
Great. When you come to Ghana, what do you love to do? Tell me.
Ghana. I love to dance Kizumba.
Oh, so you go to the
Afrikiko? Yes.
I think Afrikiko is no longer available.
Are you serious?
Sorry to break
Oh.
your heart. But Kizumba still happens. So you have to move to a different spot. Yeah.
Oh.
So you do Kizumba and what else?
What else do I do? What's for fun? I mean, kind of. What do I do? I like to go to Republic. I like to go to Osu area. I like to go to Ebri. You know, it's a beautiful. It's just, you know, you have to change up the scenery sometimes.
And places you eat.
Places I eat. Please don't come and stalk me. You know I'm going to Ghana in December. I beg, don't come and find me. Well, I mean, I did like Afrikiko.
Yeah. All right, so I've enjoyed having a fantastic chat with you.
Thank you.
Before we wrap up, tell us, what should we expect from Esi Yamoah?
Expect authentic stories. Expect great things to come, honestly speaking. Like, my goal really is just to promote Africa and to tell our stories. And if I can do that in LA or anywhere, that's what makes me happy. So always expect something great from me, and always know it's never just me. It's always a group of people. I'm just maybe that one person that you see out of 50 people.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you. Wish you all the best.
Yeah.
And I'm certainly going to keep an eye out for Gold Coast Vibes.
Thank you.
Pleasure.